Alright, y'all. Had something weighing on my heart the last couple days. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts with you. And it has to do with several things. You know, the state of the country, what we've become over the years, what we've lost over the years. I'm braiding onions, and I thought it would be a good time to sit and chat while I'm braiding my onions. I was going to let them hang a little longer, but these are already ready, so I thought I'd go ahead and get these braided and put up. So, something that's just really been weighing on my heart lately is what's going on with the country and how we got here. I'm going to tell you how we got here. It all boils down to money. It all boils down to greed. Y'all know 1 Timothy tells us money is the root of all evil. And I believe that's what we're seeing right now, is the evil coming out from money. Just think about it. Some of the happiest people you'll ever hear about was these people that didn't have no money 100 years ago. Didn't have a dime. They were poor, but they didn't know they were poor, because everybody else was poor around them, you know. And just think about it. Money has taken mothers away from their children, because we're made to believe to be a member of society we need to work. And yes, I still work. We're also made to believe that we need the newest of this, the newest of that, the newest vehicle, the newest iPhone. I'm going to tell y'all what, one of these days, maybe, when my kids get older, maybe, I'm going to get rid of this darn cell phone. And of course, that's what I'm recording on. But one of these days, my goal is to get rid of this cell phone and go back to having a landline. Because whether y'all realize it or not, these cell phones are taking over our lives. I think personally, cell phones and technology is some of the worst things that's ever happened to this country. But when you're away from your family, when you're out making money, because you have to nowadays, don't you? You have to make money to pay your bills. Well, I think things depend way too much on money. I think we depend way too much on money. Back in the day, they didn't have power, so no power bill. They didn't have cell phones, of course, so no phone bill, because they didn't even have a phone at all. If you go back far enough, no phone bill. They didn't have a vehicle. They didn't have to buy gas. They made their own clothes, which, you know, kids didn't have many outfits. Like Daddy, he got one pair of shoes a year. So they didn't have gas. They had to feed the horses and the mules, but they grew what they fed them. I believe Daddy said them workhorses when he was young, I think they give it a ear of corn a day. That's what that horse ate. He got a ear of corn a day, and that was it. They didn't go to the grocery store, so they didn't have a grocery bill. The only thing they got from the store was their flour, if they didn't grind it themselves, and sugar. And I've been reading about some sugar, and the American people have went from consuming, from 150 years ago, we consumed 4 to 6 pounds of sugar, I believe is what it was, a year, to now The average American consumes at least 150 pounds plus of sugar a year. Now, if that ain't perspective, I don't know what is, but, you know, back in the day, sugar used to be expensive, so when you had sweet stuff, that was a luxury. That was a luxury. But money is what got us here. They didn't have no bills. If they did need to buy something, or like the flour and stuff from the store, a lot of times the store owner was willing to barter. You know, they did a lot of bartering because people didn't have no money. And how, in such a short time, if you think about it, in such a short time, did we get to where we are now, to a spoilt, entitled generation where the mama feels like she's got to work every day like a dog, you know, to drive a brand new $100,000 SUV. Why you gotta have that $100,000 SUV? Keeping up with the Joneses, I guess. Now, I'm not judging because, you know, I say this stuff. Of course I have power. Like I said, I got this darn cell phone that I'm recording this video on. I've got a car. Thank goodness my car is paid for, but I have a truck that is not paid for. And we're trying to get out of debt. We've learned a lot through the years. So, I mean, I am preaching this stuff, but I'm preaching it to myself, too. That our life shouldn't evolve around money. The time, pretty much, that time you're taking away from your life, whatever you're getting paid, that's what your life is worth. That time that you've got taken away. And I know people's got to work. I know people's got bills. But it just concerns me. It just breaks, honestly, it just breaks my heart. It just absolutely breaks my heart that over time we have come to this greedy society where everything evolves around money. Now, you can't comment on here and tell me that your life doesn't evolve around money, because it has to. You know, you gotta have an insurance for everything, for your house, for your property, for your car, for your health. Insurance is a crock of crap, to put it nicely, I think. Back in the day, the doctors would come around on the horses and would barter. You know, if Susie down the road needed something, you know, they may pay that doctor in 2 chickens or something, you know. Just paid what they could because they didn't have no money. And that's just something I want y'all to think about. I think we as a whole, as a society, we would just be better off if there was no such thing as money. That's what I think. If we could go back, because we're under the constraints of the loan people, of the insurance companies, of your job, of the power company. So, just something, golly, y'all, I mean, you don't know how bad this has been weighing on me. Now, the people that lived in the cities back then, I don't know exactly how they did it, you know, but people was that poor around here in the 70s. So, that ain't been that long ago. People fed their animals what they had. You know, chickens got the table scraps and were left out to fend for themselves, and got a little cracked corn here and there. They didn't buy chicken feed. And the hogs the same way. Run the hogs up through the woods, throw them a little corn here and there. That's just the way it was. And they made it. They survived. But Money is the root of all evil, and I 100% agree that it is. And we're seeing it more and more. If we quit driving for a little bit, which I'm talking to myself too, if we quit driving for a little bit, guess who'd be hurting? The gas companies. The gas companies that are charging you $5 a gallon right now. And you'd hate to hurt somebody, but you know what? It's the way it is. We quit driving for a week, and prices come down. But who's going to quit doing that? Who's going to quit working because society has told us that we have to work? Instead of raising your children that you have to work. I mean, people didn't have jobs. People lived off their land. Even the men. They lived off their land. The men worked the fields. The women took care of the house and the children and raised their kids. And why, who decided at what point that was a bad thing? Who decided all of a sudden that women need to go to work, men need to go to work, and children need to be raised by somebody else? Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that because, like I said, I know people's got to work. I still work. I don't work full-time anymore, and I'm blessed for that. But there was a time in my life when my son was little that I was working 60 hours a week. And I realized that something wasn't right. Now, granted, he was with my mama, and that's fine. That's great. I know he was wonderfully taken care of. I know he was. That ain't what I mean. But mamas should be raising their children, not somebody else. And it really makes me like, I'm about to cry because it makes me want to cry for these people that feel like they have to. They don't have a choice because they're under the debt collectors and they're under the car payments and the house payments for the mansion that you don't need and the $100,000 pool that you're putting in your backyard. Is all that worth time with your children? I'm going to leave y'all with that thought today. And I just say these words to encourage you. I don't say them to be ugly. I'm just trying to encourage y'all that there's nothing wrong with living simply. There's nothing wrong with not having cable TV. There's nothing wrong. Like, I have the lowest amount of internet you can get on the phone. On, like, the data or whatever. You know what, y'all? People look at me like I'm crazy when I say I'm out of data because I don't have unlimited data, but I don't want to have to work to pay for it. I want to be here with my kids. I want to be working in my gardens, fooling with my animals. That's what I want to do. My time ain't worth having extra internet on my phone. Put it to you lightly. Try to just think about it. I'm just trying to give y'all something to think about today. That's what I'm working towards. And I think we should be looking into that. My braid is about done. This one anyway. I probably got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 more to go. I've got onions hanging all over my porch because I was scared they were going to get rained on. So anyways, talk to y'all next time. Finished product.